Good morning, everyone. This is Paul Stuva with TopCon Solutions. We are here together today to go over our software roundtable, quick review and discussion regarding the BIM 360 design for Civil 3D. Real quickly this morning, before we get going on things, just wanted to do a couple housekeeping items. First off, this video will be recorded and will be available later on our website for your viewing pleasure in case you want to share it with anybody or just go over it one more time. And you can also see any upcoming webinars. We'll pop over real quick, show you what that looks like. Here at topconsolutions.com, under technical support videos, here's where you'll find the currently available videos and the recording for this one later today. And the You're Invited tab here, if you come here, will show our upcoming webinars and future videos that you can sign up for and view whatever it is that ends up interesting you in the future. So with that, we're gonna come right on back and we're gonna get started on today's webinar. Once again, it's a quick roundtable discussion regarding BIM 360 design for Civil 3D. So real quick, today you're interacting with specialists from the TopCon Solutions store, some of my coworkers and some specialists in their field. TopCon Solutions, who we are, we're a retail division for TopCon positioning systems, and we are a platinum tier Autodesk partner and certified training center. We also are a platinum partner with Bluebeam, for those of you who are familiar with the Bluebeam software. And we are positioned in, I believe it is 13 brick and mortar locations across the country. And we cover and provide support for up to 20 states, including Washington, DC. So today's specialists that we're going to be working with, we've got Joseph Whitney, BIM 360 expert. He's going to be acting as a moderator alongside myself. We have David Campbell, another BIM 360 expert on our team. Then Michelle McCarthy, she is a Civil 3D expert and getting us into that BIM 360 design for civil workflow. And then myself, I'm our technical support manager here at the TopCon Solutions stores. So our agenda for today, real quickly, is going to be an introduction to the BIM 360 design for Civil 3D webinar recap. It's a recap of a video that Autodesk had released previously. Real quick video that went over what BIM 360 design is and that kind of items. And then we're going to open it up for roundtable questions and discussions. We have a series of questions ready to go over, but we're looking for some audience participation today. So if you have any questions or anything that you want to get into regarding the new BIM 360 design for civil, feel free to start posting those. There's a small questions panel in your GoToMeeting side panel. You can open up that questions panel and type in whatever it is you're looking to get answers for right there. And then as time permits, we'll be going through those questions and assigning them out, and we'll be discussing them and talking into further detail. And then finally, towards the end, we'll go into next steps. What is it you can do to improve yourself or your team's performance with regards to the BIM 360 platform? So Autodesk released a webinar here last week or a couple weeks ago. And in it, they discussed the new BIM 360 design for Civil 3D. And looking at the BIM 360 design platform as a whole, they went over a quick kind of 30-minute demo of what BIM 360 is, how the design collaboration piece works, and then what the BIM 360 for civil, the design for civil looked like, how you created a project, how files were managed there, the desktop connector and how it ties into the BIM 360 environment and what it can do to benefit your workflow. And they did a real nice, solid demo there. And we highly encourage, and we'll provide a link with the video later, to go back and check out that webinar. It's highly informative, very much worth watching. And as we said today, we're going to be doing a quick kind of review, recap, and then answering questions and diving a little bit deeper on what it was they had discussed there. So with that, we are going to not go to the thank you. We're going to change presenters on over to Miss Shelley, and we're going to have her answer our first question. And I'll pull that up right now. And now is the time, if you start having questions or you're thinking you want to get something going, to go ahead and post those. And that first question is going to be, so we understand after watching that last webinar how to start a new project and bring in data. But how do we migrate data for maybe any existing projects around our company, stored up on like a central server, XREFs, data shortcuts, that kind of thing? Shelley, how do we manage bringing those that we're already working on into this new environment?
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, so I'm in the BIM docs environment, and right here we've got upload files where you can come and upload any existing files. We kind of got shown how to create a new file, a new project file and templates and things like that during our webinar on the 22nd. But something that we do want to point out to you guys is that after uploading files for existing projects, if you have data shortcuts to BIM 360, you need to open, in some cases, need to repath that. You need to open it up through the Civil 3D BIM 360 environment and repath your data shortcuts, maybe even some XREFs. Keep in mind that this does not allow for a hybrid environment, meaning that you can't have some of the shortcuts pathed to your on-premise servers and others pathed to your BIM 360 account. Every single path inside of your Civil 3D BIM 360 needs to show your local user profile, and then you kind of have a dash BIM 360, and this means that it's pointing to your local cache on the BIM 360 server. I'm going to just pop into my civil environment, show you real quick. I've got a couple drawings prepared for this. That is a desktop connector, kind of looks into that BIM 360 environment that we have online. All I kind of wanted to point out here is that once you have it pathed appropriately, when you migrate those existing projects for your company, it does need to have this BIM 360 if you're looking at your data references. If I come over here to my XREFs and I wanted to add one, we kind of use this BIM 360 window to find our projects in this case. And I'll go ahead and turn it back over to Paul for the next question, unless anybody has any more about, starting a new project or bringing in any existing data for new projects or anything like that.
Yeah, has anybody on the team worked with migrating some of these projects, or maybe worked with the customer on getting set up just yet, or seen any maybe difficulties or issues people have had trying to get this uploaded?
This is Joey. Just to recap what Shelley said, migrating existing projects, the biggest issue has been, just verifying that your stuff's all in the same folder structure. You're not having to go everywhere else to look for all that stuff. But outside of that, that seems to be the biggest headache, and easy enough to work around. But outside of that, it's been pretty seamless. I've seen.
Yes, if you have your folder structure set up appropriately, where everything that it's looking for is pathed within that project folder, it should maintain those paths for you. But with XREFs, you may need to update them manually in some cases, and the data references, again, if it's not set up appropriately, it doesn't support that hybrid environment. It needs to all be through BIM.
Sorry, Michelle. I was going to say another good thing to think about is when you're pathing these, make sure that your path names aren't over, I believe it's 256 characters. That's another thing to kind of really look into when you're pushing these models or your drawings references up, because if the file path is too long, BIM 360 won't accept it.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Just it's BIM 360, and I believe that's a Windows limitation as well, which is where that stems from. So yeah, thanks for covering that real quick. Joey, I know you've got eyes on the questions as my co-moderator here. Do we got any questions just yet from any of the attendees? If not, we'll roll into our next question for the group.
Sorry, I was on mute. Not yet.
Okay, fair enough. So let's go ahead and David, next one is for you. Let's go ahead and get you set up as a presenter.
Okay.
And then you are going to be, and Shelly, if you could pass presenter over to David real quick for us.
Tried to do
So,
that.
yep.
All right.
So a lot of people are asking if they can take data, such as an issue or something to that extent, from the BIM 360 Docs platform, and can they use it externally? So maybe talk a little bit about that Docs platform and what an issue is, and then how can people bring it out? Can they use it externally? It's a good question.
Yes. Okay. So this is the document management platform here. James did a really good job going over this during that webinar presentation, and we did kind of talk about the ability to place, markups, things like that on these drawings, whether they are RVTs, DWGs, PDFs, what have you. You can do the review in the plans folder or in the project folder section. Now, with taking data out, yes, it is possible. So let's say I'm looking at this this architectural school here, okay? And if we see anything in this model that is an issue, okay, normally we could mark up on this drawing, but if we do see something and we really want to give somebody the responsibility, but also give them the easy navigation right to that issue. That's where we have, of course, our issues here. Now, at this time, I can create this issue, right? And with these issues specifically, they carry, sometimes they carry really good data with them in terms of what type of issue is this? Is it a commissioning issue, clash, coordination, building code, client feedback, or it's an actual design issue, or the existing conditions weren't modeled correctly? There are a lot of different options that we can choose kind of through to make the right kind of information accessible to whoever needs it, okay? The status, of course, whether this is draft or it's going to be open, which I'm going to call this, let's just say, you know what, I'm going to move this. I'm going to ask for the glazing rating on this glass. And let's say I want to go ahead and send that right to, we're going to send it to Joey. Okay, so this is where you can assign that issue to anyone involved in your project. You can specify that due date. So let's, you know what, I want an issue by, or I want an answer by next Friday. This is also what's great about this. If you have locations generated into your model, you can choose specific locations within your model and say, okay, we know this is going to be on the first floor. And let's say this is on the southeast entrance. Okay, I'm the owner, root cause. Maybe I want to see constructability, or maybe this is a code compliance, right? Or it's just a quality issue. I want to see what kind of what is that? The light and ventilation, the light that I'm going to get through this glass, or maybe I want to know that it is tempered glass. Okay, anything like that. So let's go with, yeah, design deficiency is fine. Okay, and we can also put in a description with this and then create it. Once that issue is created, it's tracked. Okay, now we can grab it from here. I can export and grab any of the issues here and take them out. But what I really like doing is coming back to the actual document management home screen and then finding the issues tab. Once I'm in the issues tab, this is where I can go through and filter for specific issues. I can look through maybe specific ones that are assigned to me, so I can go ahead and answer them and send them back. Or if I just want to get an idea on everything that's going on for this project. Now, the original question was, can I take this data out? These issues are great, especially when we can track them and then go through and have them open and closed, right? Once we get our answers back, we get the right documentation that we might need, or any comments. You see, we can have attachments on these. They can place comments on them, everything like that. Well, what's great about this is, again, we can export this as either a PDF or as a CSV. So if I bring this out as the CSV, there it is. And it's going to open up right into Excel for me. There it is. Okay,
Very
so
cool
yes,
feature.
this data is definitely, you can, I was going to say exportable, so you can take that out and manage it however you need.
Okay, so I saw we went over a building there. As far as placing issues and identifying items, how does that interact with like a DWG for civil or civil design?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it's actually the same kind of thing. I'm going to go right back to document management. And for civil design, it depends on whether you're looking at like a 3D surface or let's say just a regular 2D, DWG. But really, it's going to be kind of, there's my 3D view, the same thing. So if I'm looking at, let's say this nice 3D surface here, oh, I should have changed the color. I need to change the actual background color here. So I'm going to, oh, I forget how to do that. Oh, it's been so long since I've done this. Oh, there it is. Okay. And we'll go to appearance or environment. And let's put it on like a simple gray or the dark sky. There we go, dark sky.
Dark sky, yep.
Dark sky. So now I can actually see everything in the model. I can navigate around. I can click through any of my contour lines, right? Pull specific information from it. That's great. But here I can also attach these issues. So if I know something's wrong with any part of this, the pipe's off or the contour itself is off, I have some lines that are going where they don't need to be. Or if I'm just not, I don't have enough drainage away from the footprint of the building, what have you, I can go ahead and create an issue on this as well and place this issue wherever I need to, and then kind of enter in the exact same information and then create this issue. I'm just gonna say wrong slope.
Very cool. Shelly, do you see that coming in handy for our civil and infrastructure industry folks?
Absolutely. Takes a team to make the dream work, right?
Teamwork makes the
Absolutely.
dream work.
Okay, so it looks like we got another question. Unless Joey, we got anything anybody's asking? We'll just check in regularly.
Not yet. Nope.
Okay. So I've heard recently, and it tends to be on and off. This one might be a good one for David to take a peek at, but we've had reports or we've heard about models taking some time to open from BIM 360. Can you speak on this and what might be going on or offer some reassurance for those that have maybe heard items like this?
Yes. So initially, when you first open or load the model to BIM 360, it is going to take some time. But utilizing that desktop connector, right? Shelly kind of touched on that a bit. It does actually cache those documents, any of those drawings, the DWGs, the RVTs, whatever type of model that you're working with, it is going to cache it. And once it does cache that model locally, it's going to open up a lot quicker in the future. It's really just that first kind of opening that does take some time. If you guys are seeing a lot of latency issues, so you're seeing a lot of speed issues, another good thing to look at is linking, of course, trying to store as many of your links as you can, your XREFs, data references, things of that nature inside of BIM 360, and then, of course, linking them into your model, which is going to improve the opening speed of that model for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know on my piece of things from technical support, we see a lot of firewall issues where there are whitelists and URLs that can be allowed through a firewall or through
That's
an antivirus.
that's a
That can
great point.
use
That's
that.
a great point.
Mhm.
Now, do we have that information, right?
We do have that information available. Anybody who needs it can feel free to reach out. It's also quickly available through the Autodesk Knowledge Network. You can just look up your BIM 360 whitelist. You just Google that term right there and you'll get right to where you need to be.
Awesome.
So Shelly, here's a good question for you. Say I'm working in the drawing and I'm not wanting anyone to make changes while I'm working in it, specifically with regards to civil. We know that it can be a bit of a pain to have people trying to get in there and work on it all at the same time. What in the BIM 360 environment can help with that? And David, if you could pass your presenter. So
Yep, on the way.
Thank you, David. Yeah, let's see. All right, so what we can do is we can lock some of these files. within the BIM environment. So if I don't want anybody to make changes while I'm in here, I can come into any drawing, maybe this pond finished, and I can lock it. As you can see, I've got a coworker in here that's already in this master tools demo drawing that he has it locked. And I can also see that when I'm within the BIM environment. This one has been locked by me because I am in it right over here. And this is the one that's been locked by my coworker. I can also see how long he's been in it. He's been in here for a little while. So maybe that's an accident. Maybe he hasn't saved it, or maybe he just accidentally opened it to view something and he left it open. The good news is that we can always come back in here. And even though I don't have it locked by me, I can come here and unlock it because he has it.
Okay, so that's an interesting question. If you have the ability to unlock, I assume you're probably a project admin on this
I am.
project. Yeah, I would
Yes.
assume that the basic users don't have the ability to unlock each other's files. We would need a project admin to do so.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
But
Okay.
locking and unlocking is how we can get around anybody making changes. And this isn't, new to AutoCAD. When somebody else is in the file, we can usually tell there's a little lock symbol, but now we can see that same functionality here in the BIM environment.
Excellent. And that comes in really handy. There's a good segue into another question. And Joey, do we have anybody, any audience
Yeah,
participation?
yeah, we do. We have
Perfect.
a
Go ahead.
question. So a question this person gets, does everyone need a design license, or can some users just use docs if they aren't using Civil 3D and just want to make markups, documents, and submit RFIs? Have answer, PMs, PEs, etc. Can they use docs if they aren't designing in Civil 3D? And then kind of a follow-up question to that. If they want to share these files with externally, do those people need a license of docs? How does that all work?
All right. Can
Yeah.
I take this one?
Have at it, David.
All right. So for that question, if someone, and let's go ahead and get me to the presenter, I would say that no, if they are not designing, they do not need a design license. They will still need a document management license. All right. And once they have that document management license, that's when they can open up these drawings, look at them here, place issues, things like that of that nature. Okay. And anyone else, of course, can track that information. They can place markups, all things like that. Now, Joey, what was the, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the second part of that question there. Could you reread that one to me?
Yeah, so does everybody need a design license? And the second part is, can they just get by with docs? And then as a follow-up to that, how would people collaborate? Would they need
Externally.
an external license?
Yes.
Yeah, they need
Okay.
a license of docs to view the files.
Mhm.
Maybe you're sharing it with an owner or stakeholder.
Yes. Okay. Yes, there are a couple different ways to do that. No, they don't need to have a document management license to see these files. You can actually grab any of these files, and let's say I'm going to grab this 2D drawing here, and I can actually, where are you? It's not in the create for submittal. I can create a submittal here. I can download the source file so I can actually pull that document down, but you can also share external links to these files, to any of these models here. Now,
I think you have to turn it on, if I'm not mistaken, in the project admin first. Make sure that it's turned on
that's
there.
right. Yep, you got to turn it on. You got to allow that permission to share these external links. All right, so if we're going to share any of these models, okay, you can see that we can, I'm gonna get out of those, and let's go to
It's
overview.
advanced settings, I believe.
So it is in document management. Advanced settings, there it is, share documents publicly. And then you can turn that on. Okay, so you can allow project members with at least the view and download permissions to share these project files with anyone outside of the project. Okay, another one actually, while we're here, because I'm on this, show that folder path. This is going to enable those project members to see that full folder path for any of your folders that they don't have permissions to view, as long as they have that permissions for at least one of those subfolders. Okay, but now when I go back to document management itself, this is now where I can choose any of these. Let's just grab the 2D one again here. Oh, I clicked into it. Okay, but you did see share there, so that's another one. I can go ahead and share, or I can actually, that's gonna be share. Do I wanna share this with project members? Do I wanna email this, or do I wanna send a link to it? If I want a link, I can just copy it and paste it, of course. Or again, just go ahead and type out the emails. Maybe I wanna send this to Joey and Shelly. I hit save, I can type in a note. And that link has been shared. Now, I do want to say there is also another way to grant access into kind of BIM 360. So when you are assigning access into your individual project, there is a way to kind of specify what people are going to be doing, right? You have your project admins, you have your members, but you also have the capability to bring anyone in as an executive. And you know what? That's probably under the account admin. I'm sorry, not under the project admin. That is under the account admin. And when you bring them in, this is where you can invite executives to access the overview dashboard, right? So you can kind of adjust what they're going to see by these levels that you can bring them in as.
Yeah, thanks, David. And
Yep.
a follow-up on some of the licensing questions there too. When it comes to the BIM 360 docs environment, as soon as a member is invited to the project, they consume a license from the docs pool. So whoever's managing this site, in this case, TopCon Solutions Inc. is hosting this site. So we have a set amount of document management licenses that allow access to anybody who's been invited to our hub. So the docs licenses are not a bring your own model. The design collaboration, so your Revit and your Civil 3D, those design collaboration licenses, those are bring your own license models. So you can work it out, and we have seen it with some customers where the primary on a project will purchase and distribute those licenses out to members and subcontractors. But generally, each company or each partner is bringing their own design licenses when working specifically in that design collaboration, either in Civil or in Revit.
All right.
So let's see. We've got a few more questions and some frequently asked items that I can roll through. But real quick, Joey, did anybody have a follow up based off of that conversation?
Not based off of that one, not yet.
Okay. So next up, we'll go back to Shelly real quick. Is there a way to get around changing the version of the drawing every time it is saved? As we saw in that webinar here a couple weeks ago, the versioning for the Civil 3D model or drawings updates every time you sync it. Is it possible to get around that? Maybe I don't want to sync it every single time I save. And what does that look like?
Yes, so you can do that, get around that version, that change in versioning for the drawing each time. But to do that, you will need to kind of download these drawings onto your computer and then take that desktop connector that we have here offline. And you can do that usually on the bottom of your status bar. If you kind of right click on it, there's a work offline option. Let's see if I can share that with you. Give me one moment. So right here under my desktop connector, I have the option to work offline, and that will prevent it from creating the versions like so. We're up to version 5 right here on this XREF test drawing. So if I want to avoid too many versions, that's how you would do it.
Very cool, very simple too. Kind of intuitive there. When we go working offline, what does it look like inside Civil? Do we suddenly lose access to other files we might not have open? I would assume so. But what does that connection look like?
Yes, I believe that it would have it, you know, cached here on your local computer, and then it would lose this desktop connection if I take mine offline real quick. It will look a little something like this. So once I have
Okay.
the files down on my computer and I take the connector offline, it will no longer be uploading those files into the BIM environment until I'm ready to do so.
So then on that XREF test model or drawing that you have open, does it suddenly, you've got it open in the tab up there, does it suddenly lose its access, or nope, we're still completely
We're
operable? Very
still
cool.
completely in here. Yep,
All right.
absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you for answering that one. That one was real straightforward and clear. Let's see, what do we have here? We've already covered sharing externally, and thank you for that, David. Let's look at, so working with Civil 3D in the BIM 360 design environment, what is the benefit of having it in the design environment aside from obviously having it stored in that central network location, like such as your collaboration with other specializations, let's say, so maybe the architect or the utilities company out there laying the utilities, as it were. But what's the benefit of being in the design environment as it pertains to collaboration with other specializations? And I'll leave that open to whomever wants to take it.
All right, well, this could be a combination. For me, being on the architectural or structural kind of Revit side, it's great for me because I can take any of the information that's posted into BIM 360. So let's say I do have my civil team and they are updating this site model for me. The great thing again about this is that I can link this right into Revit and I will have the updates. I don't want to say automatically, but it is somewhat automatically. As this drawing, the model changes, my link reflects that. I like having everyone kind of involved with that. So also on the civil side, they can see if the building has moved, if the footprint changes, if we need to, adjust utilities for how this building has kind of changed or morphed, what have you, during this process. Due to any unforeseen circumstances, it can change pretty quickly, right? And everybody is involved in that process. We can create these issues, assign responsibility, track everything that's happening as this project and model itself evolves. Okay, so it keeps everyone on the same kind of standpoint there. But for my side, also on the architectural kind of Revit side, it's making this data very consumable. Okay, I can just go right into BIM 360, insert link and go, and really track, I guess, the changes that are made and make sure my team, I guess, has the most up-to-date information.
Yeah, thanks, David. So Shelley, following up on that, so he had spoken about the architectural side of it and maybe the building footprint changing and that updating the model. What about for those sites that are out there just cutting dirt? How do you feel this, is there any workflow or any connection that you know of that could help with those guys out there using our field controllers and our machine control out there?
I'm not entirely sure if I'm following your question. Go ahead and.
Yeah, so I know functions like point layout and other items like that. And I know there's some tie-out or tie-ins to the BIM 360 platform through like tablets or your iPad, that kind of thing. I was looking, is there some sort of benefit? And feel free, Shelley or anybody else who might have experience with it, is there any benefit to those guys out in the field who are just moving dirt rather than looking at existing or proposed for buildings and
Yeah,
design there?
I think one of the key benefits is that they're not able to make any changes to my projects and to my drawings. I can maintain control over my work. So they just kind of can view mine, but I'll let David add anything else to that. The benefit is that they can view it and then request information, but not make any changes even accidentally to my stuff.
Yes, I do like that, but I also, I mean, viewing it in itself in that case, to me, is a huge kind of benefit because you're going to see as that model updates, it's obviously going to change in BIM 360. They can view the different versioning. So let's say they're, cutting in a curb, or they're grading out this parking lot, or even grading the site, just the building footprint itself. They need to know about that information, like how it changes as that model kind of updates, and how it changed from, let's say, the previous day, just to make sure they're not creating, rework for themselves. Okay, they cut this curb out, but turns out, that curb was moved 2 days ago and they didn't have the updated drawing set. With being able to view these drawings in BIM 360, pull them down into something that they can use, even if it's not using the actual civil file, if they can pull it down, export it, and just pull in the information that they need for the day, it's a simpler process. And that they have the most up-to-date version. And again, with everybody being able to communicate in that sense, saying, hey, this isn't the way that I see it, right? And let's say that you do have somebody out in the field, maybe operating machinery, what have you, they can take pictures of the issues, right? They can actually attach those pictures right to the issues that they create within BIM 360, and then everyone inside of the project knows what's going on out in the field.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's a question that I know I've seen, and having that access out in the field, I could see being very beneficial. I mean, even with just running a hotspot for internet and being able to pull down the most recent DWG for updating a job file, maybe in their magnet or their Pocket 3D, what have you. Just a convenient workflow I could see being beneficial out there. So Joey, we got any other questions from the group, or you got anything to add?
Yeah, we do have a question, and it was regarding that shares external feature earlier. Is there a way to put permissions on that? As the question is that shares permission enacted globally, and can that shares permission setting be managed?
Yes, so I believe that what you can do is adjust the permission level so that they can only share it. Now, that's a really good question, though. I believe you have to. That is a permission that you can grant. Now, let me pull back into that. I believe it was the project admin and the share file link, because it was talking about the subfolders here with sharing these documents publicly. You can protect these. Shared links can be revoked if necessary. And I was gonna say, I believe they would need to have permissions to those folders, okay? Now, these documents are gonna be accessible to anyone with that shared link. So as soon as you send them that shared link, I mean, it's gonna be like a detached model or detached drawing, right? You're sending them a link to be able to view it. So I don't think they're gonna be able to do anything to it unless they can download the source file, things of that nature, but they would still need to have permissions to that folder first. Okay, so they will need permissions to get into that folder. And a lot of that is done either through setting up permissions when you're setting up the project itself. And you can, I'm gonna tell you this, if you set a permission for like the plans or the project files, think about these as your parent folders, right? Anything that you apply here is going to kind of roll downhill, and it's going to affect all of these other folders. So if you give everyone, let's just say, read access to some of these folders, it's going to go all the way down. From that point, you can get into these subfolders and then adjust the permissions from there, okay, giving them access to do whatever it is that they need to do. Let's say I'm going to bring in Josh.
Well, that's for people that are a part of your project. The external link for people not taking a license but sending them a link, it does not use the permissions. It's just based off of the link.
No, it's actually sharing the link itself, giving them the capability to share it. Once you have that that link shared, yeah, there's nothing we can really do at that point to control it. Now it is detached though, so it won't affect your model.
Purely in viewer mode.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely.
Now,
that
I
was a
do,
good one.
if I can, speaking on that, you could also utilize the Autodesk viewer. That's a great way to share any files as well.
Yes, but that just requires
downloading that source file and then
exactly.
Yeah. That's another disconnected route.
Yeah. So does as we've had the conversation here, kind of covering these different topics and a lot of good information today, does anybody have any questions here on the team, just here hosting, any questions for each other, any questions that have come up as we've come or gone across a lot of this information?
Yeah, actually, I had one for Shelly because I was looking at this and I wanted to know what all file formats BIM 360 supports.
Yeah, so we can put up a lot of different file formats in there. There's over 60 supported file formats that can be used in the viewer.
I'm gonna make you that the
Sure.
Presenter. There you go.
Yeah.
Monitor one. Yeah, so many file types can be viewed directly online. As we've kind of been going through here, different file types. You can upload over 60 different types of files, both in the to be viewed directly online. So if you run into a problem viewing supported file formats, which you can look up on the Autodesk Knowledge website, you can post it in the A360 general discussion forum to get some assistance. If you run into a file format that you need that isn't listed, for example, when we work with extremely large surface files, there's an MMS file that we end up creating that's not yet supported at this time, but they are adding new file types regularly. So if there is a file format that you need that isn't listed, you can post your request in the A360 Idea Station forum.
Well, speaking of the file formats, have you guys heard any updates to when the sheet set manager will be supported in the regular file type, the file types that it creates, that sort of stuff?
I have not heard anything myself.
That is a really good question, though. Yeah, because sheet set manager, especially as Civil moves and AutoCAD and Plant 3D and all those other AutoCAD verticals move into this design environment, that sheet set manager is going to be a big piece.
Absolutely. And again, Autodesk is adding those new file types regularly, so it's kind of, they're rolling them out as they can.
And we will include a link to that knowledge network as well. So you can kind of click on that and see all the different file types that it does accept.
Yeah, that was a good one to cover. I ran into that here just the other day looking at the project files versus the plan files. I noticed the plan files has a very select set of supported formats, whereas the project files has a much wider variety. And David, you might be best to answer this, but what's the difference between the plan files and the project files, and why that discrepancy there?
So one of the big things that you'll see as a difference between your plans and project files is, one, how it's going to handle the documentation that you're putting inside of it. So with the plan files, I'll typically see if you push in an RVT file, you're going to notice that it's actually going to rip apart that model. Any views, 3D views, 2D views, any sheets, things like that, it's all actually going to be separated out. Thank you very much. It's all going to be separated out, as you can see here. Here's now my RVTs. Now if I click on that first floor, okay, it's actually going to allow me to interact and kind of navigate with those. I almost want to call these like they seem to me like 2D drawings, right? But the crazy thing is, again, we can interact with anything in this model. I go properties, and there it's grab my floor, and I can actually pull all the information from my floor. So any drawing, whether it's CAD, whether it's PDF, whether it's RVT, Excel drawings, things like that, JPEGs, things that you're going to host a lot of that information in your plans file. Okay, that's what it's for. Now, I do want to make a note on this as well, because you do see I have a coordination folder here. So different things operate differently from BIM 360. The plans folder for coordination specifically, and I'm talking about as we expand into BIM 360 itself, model coordination would take place inside of the actual plans folder, okay? That grabs my 3D views. Any views that I publish, as I publish them or update them, are clashed, automatically clashed against the other views, against the other models or drawings, what have you, that I do have coming into this coordination folder, okay? And they are tracked and updated. The reason why this is great, especially for coordination, in saying that it's hosted in the plans folder, is because I can control exactly what information I'm clashing. So if I want to clash, let's say I have a 13 floor or 13-story hotel building, right? And I want to clash each level, or even if I want to clash underground, I want to know where my pipes are going when they come up into my model. If I have my penetration holes set correctly, you know, my stub ups are right. Make sure I'm not going into any walls or any supports, right? I'm not going to try to go up through a beam. Now, all of that can be done, and as it's updated, again, as your model, you know, continues to grow and kind of change, your clashes update with it. And it's a great feature. But again, it's that versatility of this plans folder here. Now, with plans, and I do want to say with PDFs, you will have to look for specific information in that model, like the title block in a case of a PDF, to pull information for your attributes, okay? Whereas I want to say our project files, these are really where your models are going to be stored. Any of the collaborated type of models, so your RVTs, your DWGs, your I want to say NWCs, anything like that, you want to host inside of document management. Now, you can host an NWC, I would say, in the project or in the plans file. If you're going to use it for coordination, obviously we'd put it up in plans. But your project file is really where that, I want to say from an architectural standpoint, right, that central model, but it's where that model that everybody's going to be working on it lives. This is where collaboration is enabled, okay? And in this, you're going to see specifically with Revit right now, but I do see this in the future with Civil, and that's going to be the design collaboration kind of function of creating packages, publishing this information. Nice to they're going to do some maintenance on May 24th. Nice heads up. But I like being able to create these packages and publish this information, again, making this information consumable for my team or any other team out there, and also making sure that the information that my team is going to consume is, well, it's pertinent to what we're doing, right? And it enough has changed to the point of where we're ready to go ahead and consume that next package or information, right? So with design, again, that's tied right to that project file. Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that was a very thorough answer. Thank you for that. So project files is where our working models and collaborated models are. Plans is where our views and our sheets, our coordination, and any markups or issue tracking is stored. So very succinct.
So we do have another question, guys. Are there storage project limits? Like how many projects can you have at a time? How much gigabytes can each project take up? And is the data secure?
So I might actually tag team this one with Paul, but I would say that as of right now, we don't have any limits on the amount of information that you can load up. And we haven't had any restrictions on the amount of projects that you can have going. You'll see we can bounce around here to those different projects and have a number of those going at any given time. And for as far as accessibility, it's really just controlling who you have going into your projects, who needs what, right? Who needs access to design collaboration. You're not going to use it on every single project, but who just needs access to document management. They're going to do the review process. They want to place markups, maybe create a review process itself, and then maybe create a transmittal, placing issues, things of that nature. They don't need that design collaboration, and then they don't need access into every folder inside of BIM 360, whether it is plans or project files.
Yeah, and then I'll follow up on that. So the other thing to be aware of with that storage, and like he said, we don't have any posted limit as of yet. We have seen interacting with customers and some case studies. We've seen models anywhere from 200 megabytes all the way up to 4 to 8 gigabytes.
I've seen 13, actually 26 gigabyte
You've
models.
seen 26, yeah. So there's a good
gigs.
example for you. You can store quite a bit on this platform. The word of caution with storing that much information, when you're accessing any of these files, you notice, and we referenced it here multiple times during the presentation, these items are cached locally on your system. So that's to alleviate load times. So you're not loading every single time you sync, you're just loading any changes that have been made. But the larger those models are and the more complex those models are, whether they're DWGs, whether they're RVTs, NWCs, what have you, the larger and more complex these files get, the more likely there's multiple changes that are going to be downloaded with each sync. So the more likely that sync time does delay and become longer. And we have seen with some of those larger projects that while you've got a very detailed and very complex model hosted, we do see delay. There's lag times with syncing, with opening, and that's just due to, and it's not necessarily the BIM 360 platform, but it could be due to a local internet provider throttling a 26 gigabyte download, as some do. It could be due to having either a poor internet speed at home. It could be a slow computer that's trying to modify changes to a 26 gigabyte model. So once you get over a certain size with those files, you got a lot more factors that you got to pay attention to for performance.
Mm-hmm. That's where I think a lot of that linking can come into play to help keep that model size down, but you also have all of the information that you need inside of that model.
Absolutely. So I think we got time for just about one more question. Joey, do we have anything posted, or I've got a final question to close out on if not?
No, it's all you, man.
Alrighty. So with that, we're gonna wrap it up here with David. And David, what are the next steps you would offer to people to either get started or to learn more, get more proficient in the BIM 360 environment?
Yeah, so there are quite a few things to do to become more proficient. One big thing, of course, is getting your feet wet, right? Just jump in, make yourself a kind of like a sandbox project, right? A training project. Make yourself a training project. Go through, you'll see this little like graduation scholar cap here. It's the Learn panel. If you click on this, you'll see it'll help guide you through the process of even just adding folders, uploading documents, setting permissions, things like that. But it goes more in depth the more that you go into BIM 360. Okay, so there's great resources here. Also, Autodesk has a lot of good resources in terms of videos for BIM 360. Another one I did want to show off, just because I can't help but self-promote. But under, where is it? Technical support, and I believe videos. There we go. On our website for TopCon Solutions, we also have some videos for BIM 360, different kind of things there. We also have a BIM 360 series for success, and we have a BIM 360 implementation guide that we have stored on our website, so you guys can look that up, topconsolutions.com. And again, it's just a series of 4 videos. We cover document management, design collaboration, model coordination, and an overall view of, like an overview of BIM 360 itself. So if you guys are looking for that, that is there as well. Also, reaching out to TopCon Solutions, we do implementations for BIM 360. So we are here to help if you guys need to, well, let's say you're jumping into BIM 360. Hey, Dave, how do I do this? Hey, Joey, I'm really trying to get this workflow down. We're here to help anytime that you guys need us. Just reach out, and we have several experts on our team that are ready to assist with whatever workflow that you're trying to kind of tweak.
Yeah, all right. Well, with that, we're 5 minutes from the end of the hour. So I want to thank our presenters and our panelists here for taking the time today to discuss and have this healthy conversation. So thanks everybody for coming on board and hanging out. If anybody has any follow-up questions or anything like that, we have our number posted here along with the website. You can reach out, get a hold of either an account executive to talk about getting access to the BIM 360 platform, or maybe our tech team to get some assistance with dealing with and setting up and managing that platform. But yeah, thanks for coming out today, and hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe and enjoy the upcoming weekend. Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous one.